All right, it's Elroy Johnson at the McKinney Police Department. If I can have both of y'all state your names as well as your relation to each other.
I'm Heath Harris, and I'm Mr. Heath Harris. I'm Mr. Martin's lawyer.
And I'm Adrian Martin.
Okay. And Mr. Martin, can you tell me what was your role as it relates to the incident in Craig Ranch in McKinney this past weekend?
There was a pool party on Friday. Unfortunately, most of us did not get to go in the pool. Some of the people that were invited to the party did have a guest pass to get into the pool. But we were there for about an hour. The ones who weren't able to swim, we were at the park. It was right across the field from where the pool was. And we were there for an hour, just grilling out, listening to music. We had a moon bounce. And I didn't hear of the fight prior to the other situation, but so anyway, that situation, I didn't hear of that, the first fight, but I did hear some commotion afterwards, and I guess I didn't, the police showed up. I didn't know that they did, neither did any of my friends. We didn't know. And while we were approaching, there was this young girl that my brother, he attends school with her, and she's saying, call my mom, and somebody call my mom. She was like, I'm gonna call my mom and tell her. And so the officer that was acting irrational walks up to her, grabs her by the arm, starts pulling her braids, and then takes her to the ground. And me and my friend, we're standing there screaming and telling him, please, sir, why are you hurting her? Please, you're hurting her. And you can clearly see this officer is manhandling her. So, you know, once that happens, I kind of shift to the side to let the girl know that, hey, we're going to call your mom. We're going to call your mom. I'm trying to look her in the face to let her know. And we're on an incline. While we're on that incline, my friend accidentally bumps me twice because it's kind of crowded. So he accidentally bumps me twice, and it looks like that I lunged to the cop, towards the cop. But if you look in the video, I actually slipped.
So just for clarity, so you actually did not go towards the cop, you actually didn't push towards the cop?
Yes,
right.
sir.
Yeah, if you look at the video, you can clearly see that the allegations he knowingly and intentionally went to the officer. He did not. He got bumped into the officer. In fact, there were other people that were closer to the officer than he was before he got bumped into the officer. But once he got bumped in the officer's direction, if you look at the video, he stumbles, he immediately backs back up, and that's when the officer directs his aggression toward him, pulls his pistol out, you know, and that's when Mr. Martin starts running. But make sure your viewers understand that in regards to him being charged with evading, the only command that he had up to that point was to get out of there, okay? First it was verbal, and then it was physical. It was a physical command with the gun. So he got out of there. So he did exactly what the officer asked him to do.
All right, and one last question. What were your initial thoughts when you saw the gun being pointed towards you?
When he pulled the gun out, I was probably 5 yards away from him. Because when I slipped towards him, I backed up immediately because I know not to interfere with police officers while they're taking care of something. So once I backed up, I'm probably 5 yards away from him, and he looks at me and pulls his gun out. And when he pulled it out, my thought was, I think I'm gonna get shot.
Right, and without question, this could have easily been another tragedy. If those other officers weren't out there to restrain this officer and make him put his gun up, he could have easily shot him. We don't know what he would have done. And I like to think that he wouldn't have, but we don't know. When you look at his actions prior to pulling his weapon, I mean, we don't know how far he would have gone. So I'm just glad that those other officers that were being professional, that were acting in accordance with what you expect law enforcement, that they were there. Because there was a clear distinction between those officers' conduct versus this one officer that was out there, Officer Casebolt. But the main thing that we want your viewers to know is, you know, if you're in a police encounter, just do what the officer says. And if you don't like what he says, then go file a complaint. You know, I think the police chief has shown that he does take complaints seriously and he'll do something about it. So if you get into a problem, whether it's here in McKinney, Dallas, wherever, don't try to handle it in the street. File a complaint later, all right? And make sure you make it home.
Okay. All right, thank you all.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Good.
Ready.